Hey guys, I'm here with Cliff Chiang, who's the artist on Wonder Woman, a part of DC's New 52. So talk about how the title has developed so far. It's really, I think, become part of the conversation. There's recently been news that maybe it's a horror book. Can you comment on that at all?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that Brian and I knew from the beginning is that we didn't want to say too much about the book. I think a lot of things are given away too early. It's sort of like when you go to the movies and the trailer gives away the entire story. A lot of what we're doing, I think, is going to be in the execution. So, we want people to enjoy it as it comes out. But when Brian says something like, it's a horror book, I think, what he's saying is that it's not the kind of Wonder Woman book that, people have read before. And that there are real stakes, when we're dealing with stuff like the Greek gods and monsters and stuff like that, there's a tendency for that stuff to kind of feel like it's not happening, that it's all made up. But, what we want here and what Brian does best is making sure that you feel, that there are stakes and that, it's dangerous, So Wonder Woman is dangerous. The book is dangerous. It's not, it's not your grandfather's Wonder Woman.
This is pretty well-trodden territory at this point, but could you talk about the amazing disappearing pants?
They disappeared. The funny thing is, we walked into it, thinking they were going to be pants, and we're like, okay, well, we'll draw the pants, no big deal. And then the pants went away, and then it's, I think it's great that people are like reading a lot into it because it means they're really passionate about the character. But for us, it has no bearing on the story at all, and we just want to tell a really good story.
Something I thought was really interesting in the preview pages that came out was the facial structure of Wonder Woman. To me, she seems, she has a bit of a thinner face. She has a bit of almond-shaped eyes. Can you talk about that design a little bit?
Yeah, it's, one of the things we talked about with Brian and I when we started is that we didn't want this to be like a really generic-looking Wonder Woman. We wanted her to have, we wanted her to have the big hair. We wanted her to have more of a nose, and the eyebrows and stuff like that, and to kind of create a character, as opposed to like this really kind of generic, cipher, which I think Wonder Woman probably has been for a long time. So, by giving her very distinct features, it's part of the personality that we're building for her.
Another thing that's seemed to come through, at least in the pages that we've seen so far, this may be very broad, but almost a kindness, I think, is coming out of her. Is that something you sense?
It's all about contrast, so, we need to see that part of her, but we also need to see her kick ass, and you'll see her kick ass in the book as well.
Now, we've talked to a lot of writers and artists about this, but what is your impression of the New 52 and how the conversation has changed so far among fans and retailers?
Yeah, I mean, I totally remember, my personal reaction to it from the beginning was, great, let's mix it up. It's time to do something different and take some risks. But I remember, when the news came out, there was so little information out there that people didn't know what to think, so they assumed the worst. But as more and more of the materials come out, as more of the plans have come out, people are seeing that, that they're trying to accomplish something. It's not just willy-nilly kind of sweeping the decks, So it's great to see that people are embracing it and that they're getting excited about it.
Can you talk a little bit about being here tonight and what the feeling is for you?
Tonight feels like game one of the World Series, It's like, this is where it all starts from, Jim and Jeff on a book together, it's huge, and so when this book comes out and how people respond to it is going to set the tone for the rest of the relaunch. And but then again, it feels like this is game one, and we're game seven because Wonder Woman comes out like in September, late in September, 21st. So we want to make sure. For me, it's great to be here to see like how excited people are, and I just want to make sure people are excited at the end of the month as well. And I think they're doing a good job of it.
Just to wrap up, can you plug what's coming up in Wonder Woman #1?
Wonder Woman #1 is a big story. We're trying to lay the groundwork for a multi-year epic, and it's all there in the first issue. where we're going with it and what we want to do, and we've got a lot of great things planned for it. Brian called me the other day and was like, "Hey, what about so-and-so coming into the book?" And I was like, "Yes, definitely." And so things are evolving as we work on it, and I think Wonder Woman, it's going to be a good starting place for anybody to pick up the book.